What up with y'all? It's Mr. Zach, and I'm back with another reaction. One question, man. What the hell is wrong with Joe Biden?
So there are 2 days to go until Christmas, of course, and some families are getting some shocking news. President Biden announcing the commutations of 34 of 40 federal death row inmates, those benefiting, including child killers and mass murderers like Jose Oliva Torres, who was put behind bars after murdering 2 little girls and a woman between 2005 and 2009. Torres stabbed an 8- and 9-year-old girl after sexually assaulting them in a Chicago suburb in 2005. Then 4 years later, he strangled 20-year-old naval officer Amanda Snell to death in Arlington, Virginia.
Another one is convicted murderer Thomas Stephen Sanders. He shot a 12-year-old 4 times, cut her throat in Louisiana back in 2010. He now gets life.
The Attorney General Merrick Garland recommending to President Biden all but a handful of these death sentences be commuted. Now, the exceptions include Boston Marathon bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, Pittsburgh synagogue killer Robert Bowers, and the church shooter down in South Carolina, Dylan Roof, all very high profile, all with political sensitivities. But I would imagine if you are a loved one of any of the other 37, you're like, well, okay, you made these 3 exceptions for stories people have heard about. What about our justice?
Yeah.
What about our kid? And look, I'm actually against the death penalty in cases where there's any ambiguity about guilt whatsoever. But some of these people, absolute stone cold killers, proven beyond any doubt. And Joe Biden comes in the final days of his presidency and waves this wand. And I think we're going to hear from some of these families very, very unhappy about this.
He waited till a couple of days before Christmas to pull a stunt like this. He don't even think about the family members, man, that's been suffering through this. Man, this is what some of the family members had to say.
Joining us now are Heather Turner, Katie Jenkins, and Danny Major, the daughters and husband of Donna Major, who was murdered back in 2017 in a bank robbery by a career criminal whose sentence was just commuted by President Biden. I'm sorry to be talking to all 3 of you under these circumstances. I cannot even put myself in your position to know how difficult this would be any week, but especially Christmas week. Heather, what was your reaction when you heard the news?
Anger, absolute anger. We were told from our prosecution team on Sunday afternoon. I was actually gathered with my in-laws for our family Christmas. My sister was gathered with her in-laws, and we got the call, and I was angry. I'm still angry. I am upset that this is even happening, that one man can make this decision without even talking to the victims, without any regard for what we've been through, what we're going through. I'm completely hurt, frustrated, and angry.
So, Heather, nobody gave you a heads up that this was coming from the White House?
So in May, we heard that this was a possibility. And at that point, we began writing letters to the pardon attorney. I reached out requesting an in-person meeting in D.C., and we were refused. They denied our right to have our voices heard. We're victims. My mother was murdered at the hands of Brandon Hansel. They should have heard our story. And all we got was a 10-minute virtual conference. And clearly that fell on deaf ears. They did not want to hear our story.
Danny, Joe Biden, or whoever made this decision, because it is entirely unclear whether this came from him directly or his people, he's showing mercy to your wife's killer. Was your wife shown any mercy?
She was shown no mercy at all. This man walked into the bank, never said 2 words to her, shot her 3 times in total. Went and shot her coworker, Katie Skeen, as well, who was totally defenseless and unaware that anything was happening. It's just beyond me that I can't even believe that this has actually happened, a commuting of sentences like this of 37 victims, all but 3, which was certainly a political scheme that undoubtedly. Joe Biden was also told by the Pope that he should stop these executions. Now, what the Pope has to do with anything in this country, I don't know. But Joe Biden certainly has no convictions. He's a senile old man. He couldn't tie his shoes, I wouldn't think, if you could see him in person. It's absolutely disgusting.
Well, continuing his MO of the past 4 years, he bent to the far left, whether it is this far left Pope, which many Catholics have said about this Pope, or members of his own party. He has bent the knee to the left wing of the Democrats, and that includes squad member Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley, who said this to the news. Listen.
The death penalty has not been proven to be a deterrent of crime. State-sanctioned murder is not justice. And today, what President Biden did demonstrated moral leadership, compassionate leadership, informed by his own faith. It has had a disparate impact on low-income people, Black people, and other marginalized persons.
Katie, when Ayanna Pressley refers to compassion, what is your response to the Congresswoman?
Compassion? I don't think that that's compassion. The fact that he didn't talk to any of us, the victims of this crime, you know, we trusted the judicial system. We sat through court. I watched my mother be murdered. I watched images of her body laying on the ground. He does not have compassion for who? A criminal? A criminal? No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all.
Heather, off the top, you mentioned Christmas celebrations that you've already tried to have. How do you get through Christmas following news like this, when you have to put on a brave face for kids for whom we really do celebrate this holiday, to watch the joy and the magic and the excitement in their eyes? How do you get through this, Heather?
Jesus, the reason for the season. I mean, we wouldn't be celebrating Christmas if it wasn't for Christ and his birth. And he is what has gotten us through this entire thing. We have leaned into Jesus. He has provided us strength and a peace that is beyond all understanding, because he's the Son of Peace. And I'm just so thankful for the Lord and for my faith and for my family. I have 3 small children. My sister has 1 baby. He's a year old. My brother has 2 children. My mom had 6 grandchildren, only 3 of which she met. Oh. Our job is to make Christmas as special and as magical as we can, and we're going to do that.
Danny, same basic question to you. How do you get through this as a grandpa, knowing that you lost the love of your life? She's never coming back, but this killer has been spared the death penalty.
Well, probably the worst thing for me through this whole thing since day one was watching my 3 children, Doug, Heather, and Katie, suffer through this. If it was just me, I'd be okay with that. I know Donna's with her Savior right now. Not because she was a good person or anything like that, but because she trusted him as Lord and Savior. As far as the grandchildren go, the few that were here with us, they probably don't have a whole lot of memory of her. But there still is a great loss in that, just knowing that they'll never get to see her or be loved by her or touch her or hug her or hold her.
He does a great job of filling in.
I'm sure he does.
He's incredible.
Katie, final question to you. The exact phrase used by the White House in their release announcing these pardons and commutations is that Joe Biden is committed to a fair and effective justice system. Katie, what about this is fair to your family?
None of it. None of it, because we didn't commit that crime. Reigning counsel did. He made that choice that day, a crime that is punishable by the death penalty. 12 jurors unanimously voted for the death penalty. That is what was fair, and Biden took that away from us. A senile, old, incompetent man took that away from our family. Justice. Just like that, nothing. This is not fair.
I'm with the family, man. This is not fair at all. Those people got convicted of heinous crimes. They got convicted by a jury of their peers. Death penalty. And for Joe Biden to just make a decision like that, man, it's not fair at all to these people. Like the young lady said, she had to watch the video replay of her mother being deleted, man, and body just laying on the ground. And what the hell the Pope got to do with this? Like the grandfather said, I don't know what the Pope got to do with this, but it's not fair, man. Like they say, he a senile old man. It's a reason why he got kicked out of his party like that. Like he couldn't even, you know what they did. They ran a coup on him. But then again, it's another reason why the Democratic Party lost this election season. It's just demonic, man. This is crazy. But President-elect Trump has something to say about this situation, man. He slammed Joe Biden for his decision, and this is what he had to say.
So President-elect Donald Trump is now slamming President Biden's 11th hour commutations of nearly all federal death row inmates. Trump posting on Truth Social that once he's in the White House, he will, quote, direct the Justice Department to vigorously pursue the death penalty to protect American families and children from violent rapists. We will be a nation of law and order again.
It's terrible, man. Joe Biden, man, he is going down as the worst president in American history. It is what it is, man. He is the worst president in American history. For a person to be in politics for that many years, over 50 years, and to go out sad like this, I guess it, man, look, it is what it is. Like I said, it is what it is, man. He pardoned his son. Which everybody know his son is guilty, allegedly. But, man, just to break more people's hearts, man. Like, you can't just leave out of office, man, and take your son with your crackhead son with you and just roll out. You know? It's just ridiculous, man. But, look, y'all let me know in the comments, man, how y'all feel about this situation, man. I would like to, you know, read it and see what you guys think, man, because me personally, man, I think it's demonic. To me, he's the worst president ever. And I don't really know too much about presidents. But this president right here, you can't help but to see the craziness that's going on with this administration, man. I'm at a loss for words right now. But, man, like I said, man, leave it in the comments, man. Let me know what y'all feel about this situation, man, with Joe Biden commuting death sentences. People who obviously deserve the death penalty, and for him to reverse those penalties, man, and don't even care about the families who these monsters destroyed. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And Mrs. Zach reacts, and I'm out, man. Till next time. Peace.
Proactive. This ain't over. We gon' keep going. It's Mr. Zach, you tuned in to the greatest. The mother YouTubers and me, I ain't famous. It's Mr. Zach, I'ma give it to you raw and cut. Smash that like button, give me all thumbs up. My page the realest you gon' come across. I'm the boss.